Hey everyone, I wanted to share with you guys today something I've been doing a lot of thinking on, and I felt this way for quite a while, but I never really discuss it with people. Because honestly, I don't think most individual people are worth talking to about it. But if I can talk to 11,000 people at once, why not, right? What I'm going to tell you is something about goals. I think goals suck. I think goals are almost worthless. What I think people need are not goals. Goals are what get you started on the things that matter. You start off having goals. And if you keep goals, you never get to where you actually could be. Think about this for a second. Somebody asks you what you're trying to lift in the gym that day. You already know what you want to lift. They ask you what you're trying to lift that day, and you say, well, the goal is 315 on bench. What does that imply? It implies you could fail, is what it implies. It implies it might not happen. Now, I'll tell you what I think people should have. I don't think people should have goals. I think goals are what they should have in the beginning, and I think it should lead them to what they need, and what they need is a target. A target is a tangible item. It's something you can see. It's something that is in a certain direction that you can point at and move towards. It is something extremely specific, and when you see it, you know how to get there. Goals are vague. Goals imply that you might never get them. Targets are something tangible. There's something you can move towards. There's something you can point at and pull a trigger at or fire an arrow at. And until you have a target, how could you ever get there? How could you ever get what you truly want without a target? Goals are not a target. They are a vague way of saying what you'd like. Now, some people might describe a target as a goal. I don't think people should. I think that takes away personal power. Okay? I believe when people start talking about their target as a goal, I think that's failing themselves in some way. On the inside, they might not even feel it. Okay? Here's what a target is. We create our own targets, what we want. Your target might be to bench 405 pounds. Okay, that might be your goal. When you turn it into a target, what happens? All of a sudden, you know what direction to move into. You might not know exactly how to get there. There might be obstacles. But then you can go and ask other people for help on how to get to that target. If you were at a shooting range and you didn't know how to fire a gun, you would learn. You would ask someone for help. You would look it up. You know what direction to go in. You know what direction to point the gun in. You know the generals. But until you have that target, you have nothing to fire at. You go to the target range with a goal of shooting at things. Once you have the target, you have something you can hit. You have something to aim at. Without something to aim at, you can never get what you want. Without knowing what you want, you can never hit the target. You have to have the target, not the goal. Fuck goals. Goals suck. Targets are what matter. Figure out what you want, specifically what you want, and create it into your own little reality in your head. Make it real in your head. Visualize it. Figure out the specifics. Visualize the target is a circle. Visualize what direction it's in. How you are going to point your gun at it. And what you are going to do to fire that fucking bullet. That is what's important, not goals. Goals are, I'm going to, shoot something today. Goals are, I would like to be good at shooting targets. But without that fucking target, where do you shoot? Without that target, what are you shooting at? Fuck goals. Figure out specifically what you want. Specifically, not generally. Specifics. When I want to pull 900 pounds, you know what I do? I specifically think about pulling 900 pounds for weeks, for months ahead of time, for years. I lay out my clothes ahead of time. I lay out my meals ahead of time. I see the target. I visualize the target. I learn what direction to point my fucking gun, and I learn how I'm going to fire that bullet, and I learn all I can about wind resistance and all that bullshit so I can get to that target because I see what I want. I visualize what I want. I see myself hitting it. I know how to hit it, and I can do all those things because I have the target, not the fucking goal. The goal is to deadlift 900 pounds. That's not the fucking what you need. What you need is the target so you can learn, so you can get towards it. People will have goals their entire life and never take a step towards them. Goals suck. You can be the best. You can be the best in the fucking world with a bow and arrow, but if you don't have a target to shoot at, you will not hit the target. If you don't have a target to shoot at, you will not do anything. You will sit around talking about goals and get nothing done. Okay? Let me tell you something. It's not just about going out and making shit happen. It can be in your head. If all you did was sit and think about the target, about what you want, and sit and think about how you're going to get there, that's bringing shit into reality. Because before you thought of it, it wasn't real to you. You made it real by thinking it. I've been thinking that there are forces in the world that move things around to give us what we want. Like there's a higher power. There's not. There's no higher power. It's just us making shit happen. We think about shit, and our beliefs dictate whether we put that into the world or not. If you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to do it, and you just made that reality in the fucking world. If you believe you can do it, and you know what you're trying to do, and you have a target, and you want it, and you know what direction to point your gun, and you know how to pull the fucking trigger, and you learned about wind resistance and fucking all that kind of bullshit, guess what? You just created your own fucking reality in the world. You just made something possible and real to you that was not beforehand. It's called controlling the fucking universe. Most people don't. Most people don't believe they can do shit. They don't have a goal to begin with that would lead them to a target. You have to know what you want. You have to sit and think with all your fucking might, all your brain power on what your target should be. And then everything you have inside you, use it to get to that target. Otherwise, you will never be who you want to be. You will never do what you want to do. And that is a sad existence. That's a very sad way to live. That's for people who self-medicate. I self-medicate, but I know what I fucking want. Okay? I'm not upset, and so I need to go and, drink or fuck a bunch of girls or sleep all day or self-medicate with something. When my life sucks, I self-medicate with those things. When I'm working towards a target that's a worthwhile goal, I don't need those things because I'm happy. If you're not working towards a worthwhile goal, a worthwhile target, you are not going to be happy. I'm not going to tell you what your goal and your target should be. That's specific to everyone. But if you don't figure it out and give a shit and work towards it, you will not be what you want to be. Period. I'm not telling you to be unhappy with what you're doing. If that's what your goal and your target is, then by all means continue because you are living your dream. But you need to figure out what your fucking dreams are. Start off with that goal and then say, fuck you, goal, I turned you into a target. And then you point your gun at that shit and you learn how to pull the trigger and you learn all the little details about how to get to that fucking target with your bullet. And then you aim at it and you fucking fire until you hit that bitch. And that is the law of the universe. I'm finding that is what makes everything happen in the world. Most people don't understand. And so they won't get shit done that they want to, and they will live unhappy lives. And they will look at other successful people, and they will make excuses, and they will blame people, and they will drink, and they will do anything they can to ignore the fact that they're not happy. But it's their own fault for not having a goal that they turn into a target, and then aiming at that bitch, and then firing until they get there. Hope this helps you people. I hope this helps some people. I hope some people understand. Because honestly, I would not want to be alive if I didn't understand these concepts. Because I would not be able to be doing what I'm doing, and I would never be able to be who I want to be, and that's not a life worth living.